Disasters bring out the best in most people, the worst in a few. Sadly, at Springwood in the Blue Mountains, a few cowards are taking advantage of the fire crisis, while others are happily giving from the heart.
At a time of disaster, people want to give, and sadly, there are those who want to take. Yesterday, this group of young men walked into a Springwood news agency, their sights clearly on the bushfire donation bucket sitting on the counter. But the shop assistant was just as alert.
Onto them straight away, yeah. And he just hung over the counter and eyeballed them, all four of them. Yep, he's been through an armed hold-up here before, so he's tough. There was $500 in that tub when I cleaned it this morning, so they could have had most of that.
So they left empty-handed before trying their luck a few doors down at Michelle's Patisserie.
They distracted my mum and dad whilst they were cleaning, and they stole our charity money box.
They fled with about $300.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's incredibly angry, very upset. Can't describe it. So much good is going up here, and they knew what they were doing.
Police are hunting the five who aren't thought to be from the area. Down the road at the Springwood Golf Club, volunteers have been overwhelmed by goodwill.
What we're dealing with here is people have lost everything.
Absolutely everything. They only come in with the clothes on their back.
The club's squash courts are like a department store. The only thing missing is the customers.
People find it hard to accept such generous gifts and donations. We need the people to just come and get what they need.
There are so many people suffering here, particularly the elderly. Now, this nursing home was ringed by fire last Thursday. Now the decision to move the residents on. And it's not the fire, but the smoke which is causing the greatest concern. It was a delicate operation, loading the frail into ambulances, while buses were also used to evacuate residents from 3 nursing homes in Springwood. Angela Langdon lost everything when her home burned down at Yellow Rock, and this afternoon she waved goodbye to her mum.
The last straw, really, but anyway, she's going to be safe. She's going to Rooty Hill. Fire's nowhere near Rooty Hill, so that'll be fantastic.
Back on the fire ground, exhaustion is setting in. Yet another firefighter goes down in need of medical attention and probably a good night's sleep. Homes which were yesterday evacuated in Falconbridge today were the focus of a huge back-burning operation.
And we're working back down the hill. That's excellent, mate. That's great news.
Crews building a buffer between the bush and their backyards in preparation for tomorrow's hellish forecast. Residents are warned to have a plan. Falconbridge resident Stephen Crammer has one that's been years in the making. Sprinkler systems and pumps surround his wooden cabin, and he has a plan B, an underground bunker if he has to save himself.
I can fight to the end, and if it really gets bad, I just go down here, and I've got the compressed air here, about 1,200 litres of compressed air, so I can sit down there and breathe happily for quite a long time.
Damien joins us now from Falconbridge. Damien, how are the locals feeling there tonight?
Well, Pete, pretty confused, I think, because light rain is falling now. It has been doing for much of the afternoon, but it won't do any good. And, of course, it won't be hanging around tomorrow. People are very, very nervous. For days, we've been warned that Wednesday will be the day. And, of course, that very bleak, ominous forecast this afternoon hasn't helped things. The fire crews are also extremely anxious, but they can come to places like this to get some relief and rest. Fed and watered, over 1,000 meals are being delivered here every day. It's all donated food and supplies, and a short time ago a woman brought some meals here. Now we're told that she in fact lost her house last Thursday. Quite extraordinary, Pete.
Extraordinary indeed. Damien, thank you.